In this video, you will be learning how to pronounce the vocabulary for Unit 15, Lesson 3, El Reciclaje, and you will also be learning about the future tense. Let's start with the pronunciation of El Reciclaje. Repite. La botella. El plástico. El cartón. La lata. El vidrio. La basura. La bolsa. La energía. Producir. Reciclar. Recoger. Reducir. Reusar. Tirar. Apagar. Malgastar. Vocabulary Part 2. La energía. El carbón. El molino. Can't speak Spanish today. La energía geotérmica. La energía renovable. La energía eólica. La energía hidroeléctrica. La red eléctrica. El combustible fósil. El viento. La sostenibilidad. And by the way, that's misspelled. It's S-O-S, not S-U-S. I have to fix that. La madera. La luz. El calor. Las fuentes. Ventajas. Desventajas. El cambio. La biomasa. Generar. Quemar. Suministrar. Recargar. Now let's talk about the future tense. In Spanish, the future tense, there's two different ways to do it. In Spanish 1, you learned how to say what someone is going to do. We are not going to be covering going to today. What we're going to cover is another way to use the future, and that's will do something. In Spanish, the future tense of a regular verb is added by not dropping the AR, ER, and IR. You actually keep them, and you add the endings to go with the person. So the verb hablar, to speak, comer, to eat, vivir, to live. You will not drop the AR, ER, and IR forms of the verb. You will keep them, and instead you add the endings that go with the person. Hablaré, I will speak. Comeré, I will eat. Viviré, that's a mistake that I need to fix. I didn't create this. Okay, that's also going to be an E. Okay, I will live. Hablarás, comerás, vivirás. You will speak, you will eat, you will live. Usted, él, ella, hablará, comerá, vivirá. You, he or she will speak, will eat, will live. Now, what I want you to notice is that the endings a, and there should be an a here, as, a, have accents on the e and the a. That is necessary to do. Okay, and the reason why is because if you don't put the accent, there are other words that are spelled the same and they don't mean the same thing. So putting an accent mark on that word makes it mean what it's supposed to mean. But notice nosotros, there is no accent mark. Hablaremos, comeremos, viviremos. We will speak, we will eat, we will live. Ustedes, ellos, ellas, hablarán, comerán, vivirán. You or they will speak, will eat, will live. Notice also that the ustedes, ellos, ellas form has an accent on the A. Also notice that all of the verbs have exactly the same endings. So that's pretty cool that instead of having different endings for AR verbs, different ending for ER verbs and IR verbs, all of the endings are exactly the same. There are no stem changing verbs, and there are very, very few irregular verbs. Irregular verbs have the same endings. E, as, a, hemos, an. Okay? But instead of dropping the E, or excuse me, instead of adding the ending to the end of the verb, you have to change the stem a little bit. So for example, poder, to be able to, you can't say podere. Okay, what you're doing is you're changing the stem to podre. It's a shortened form of the original verb. Okay, so it's not too irregular. Essentially, you're dropping the E out of it. Podré, podrás, podrá, podremos, podrán. Okay, tener is the same. Okay, instead of tenere, it's tendré. So your stem is tendre instead of tener. Tendrás, tendrá, tendremos, tendrán. Decir and hacer have their own stems. Diré, I will tell. Dirás, you will tell. Dirá, diremos, dirán. Hacer, haré. So it's H-A-R is your stem. You will do. Harás, hará, haremos, harán. Okay, and these verbs down here, caber, haber, querer, and saber are going to do the same thing as these guys. So this will be cabre, cabre, cabras. Haber is going to be the same. Habré, habrás. Querer, querré, querrás. Saber, sabré, sabrás. Okay, and then poner, salir, valer, and venir, same type of thing. Okay, we're not going to cover that in great detail. Now, here are a few examples. Okay, so in the future, we might use words like mañana, tomorrow. Mañana estudiaré. Tomorrow I will study. Okay, so estudiar is to study. If I put an e on the end, then that means that I will do it. Okay. Okay, escribirás un Snapchat? Will you write a Snapchat? Okay, so the AS ending means you will do it. Bailaremos. We will dance. Okay, so that hemos means we will do it, and bailar is to dance. We'll do one more. Los estudiantes harán la tarea. The students will do the homework. Okay, so the verb hacer is to do, and it's irregular, so it has a different form, and the ending is an. The students will do the homework. And now you can go ahead and do the vocabulary practice. In the vocabulary practice, you're going to be writing 5 sentences using any of the vocabulary from the lesson, and then you will do some practice with the future tense.